Test 1, 2. Hi there, this is the Keys bartender coming to you from Tyler and Jenna's Kelly's place here on the canal. We just did a 40-minute show that you probably only heard my voice, and I apologize for that. I did just to leave it. It's called episode 142, Baby Bar Etiquette. We're 36 minutes. We only have to do this 40 times. No. Let me get it right. 58 times longer to match what we did right now. But we started out with Baby Bar Etiquette and where babies can come in. We've had some people coming in. I thought it was funny when I told people, I said, it looks like on a Friday, Saturday night, people just wake up and they, not wake up. They say, hey, I can't fucking stay in here just in the house. We got to fucking wake that baby up. We're going out. We're going out on the town. And they take them into the restaurant. Okay.
It reminds me of the college days when your one roommate was sleeping and it was time to go out and you didn't leave him behind. No man left behind. So you wake that baby up and let's go drinking.
Bring that baby.
Well, your other point was that bring the baby to keep him up later so that they'll actually sleep a little longer instead of, your baby goes to bed at 7, they're going to get up at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, but the fucking parents are going to be falling asleep.
Well, yeah.
You'll feel really good. You'll feel really good. That kid's going to wake up no matter what at 2 in the morning. They wake up because they're hungry.
Yep.
They don't give a shit whether you had a drink or not.
They do it sometimes just to piss you off.
Yep. And then we have people that bring their fucking kids right to the bar. Had a guy come in there with a
10-year-old.
A 10-year-old. He didn't feel like sitting down, so he brought his kid out to the bar. And everyone at the bar, I had friends who were talking about whatever, adult stuff. And they go, oh, there's a kid there. I said, yeah, there's a kid there. And they said he shouldn't be here. But I didn't feel right about going up to the kid. And Jenna suggested that I should go up because somebody needs some parental.
Well, it was you say it to the father in the kid's earshot so the kid can hear that his own father is being told that something's inappropriate.
Yeah.
But you can do it nicely. I mean, you can tell everybody to fuck off really nicely. I do it every day.
The kid didn't look too really happy about it anyway because I think he doesn't like spending time with the father.
He probably just wanted to be home playing on his iPad.
Yeah. Well, whatever. He didn't know. He didn't look like kind of that bored youth where you didn't want him. He was miserable and that sad look. But he did have that look that you see where he's like, Dad's going to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I could do about that. But we were talking about, when's it appropriate to bring them in? Where do you bring babies in? You bring babies to movies. And then they came up with the great idea to say, what do you do when you have to go out? You have the people that go out and they bring their kids and they want to go out and have a good time.
We talked about
kids are there and the kids don't want to fucking be there.
A tropical baby bar.
Tropical Baby Bar in Key Largo. Right between the Asian massage parlor and the vape shop.
Right.
Next to the cafe thing. What do babies like? They like vaping. They like coffee. They love Asian massages.
Exactly.
Right. Let's appease to the babies.
While the parents
a baby happy ending is a diaper change and a warm bottle.
Right.
But back to the 10-year-old. I mean, what happened to babysitters? I mean, at 10 years old, you're not a baby anymore, but you had somebody that still watched you, so the parents could go out and do those kind of things.
My dad liked going out. He never did that. He said, always something like that, and my mom and stuff like that. We didn't have to go out with them.
No, you go out without your kids. That's the point.
Yeah.
You're supposed to give yourself a little bit of a break.
Freedom.
Give yourself a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just have a Mel Gibson or freedom.
Right. Yeah. If you did, you don't go out.
Wait. Just stop.
Oh goodness.
Oh, here we go. That was my thing. It's not you.
Okay.
So
we don't know. We might have technical difficulties.
As far as I know, man. What I don't fucking know about sound. Look, I did the one thing I didn't plug in. God damn.
The one that feeds you guys to us.
Yes. And I do have the volume. It's a little high, but I'd rather have it a little high, and then you guys can control it.
They can turn it down.
You can turn it down. It's popping way up.
Except soft voice over here, Jenna.
No, you're
I'm doing pretty good.
No, she's up there. Yeah. She's up there. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn it down.
Maybe it's because I'm actually plugged in right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't the plug. Yeah, it was the. Let me turn these down some.
Are we screaming at people right now?
Oh no! Well, hey. Wake that fucking baby up.
Exactly.
Wake the baby.
Yeah,
You gotta go
it's
out.
time-
What time
time
is
to go to the
What
bar.
time is it? What
7:47. It's time to start getting ready to go
7:47.
out.
Get your ass to the bar. Take your baby
Take
out
your
there.
baby, stick their butt
Just
right up
like
on the bar.
Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock when they're in the heat. And I'm good.
I was checking. I was just checking the beer supply. But yes, when in heat,
This is this Heineken can, or this tall can, is perfect for making a
baby.
a bong. No. What was that question about? Can you
Can you conceive a child in the movie theater?
no,
No, that's what I heard. You said because
Can you take your baby to the movie theater?
I heard so. What was the
What are
question?
the thoughts of taking your baby to the movie?
Let's hear from.
So, what are your thoughts on bringing a baby to the movie theater?
Okay, I heard you when you said taking. I heard making.
Yeah, the first time I said
And I said, yeah, and they used to make a lot of babies in the movie theaters.
yes, and I'm sure that they still do that in some places.
That's a fucking gross movie
Yeah.
theater. They used to have the porn, they used to watch, people used to watch porn in movie theaters.
That's what happened to Pee Wee Herman. Remember?
Yeah, I know. They used to have, and they had fabric covered seats.
Oh, that's just.
Do you know the implications of that? It should all been plastic.
There's still fabric covered seats.
It should be only plastic.
I mean, I know what I've done in
like a
movie
grandma's
theaters,
couch.
and I wouldn't
It
want
should
to
be
go back to
plastic in
those.
regular seats. I don't know why I'm getting it. It should be plastic. Anything when it comes, there should be no carpeting
No.
in there, and it should be all
Carpeting in
plastic.
movie theaters is the most disgusting thing in the world.
Yeah. It's
I mean, we wear flip-flops down here. And if I'm going to go sit in a movie for 2.5 hours for the long ones,
You ever-
I'm
you
going
ever-
to take my damn shoes off.
you take your.
But I'm not going to do that if it's carpet
You're
floors.
good. It's
You know,
insane.
that's just nasty.
Yep.
You know? And, back to the baby making in movie theaters.
You ever put your hand under a seat in the movie theater?
No way.
I did it
No,
once
no.
when it's gross in
Yeah.
Philadelphia. I just felt like I got hepatitis and herpes and everything else at the same time. When I did that. Yeah, it's gross.
See, what I used
It's
to do
a-
is I'd go see the movie that we wanted to see, and then we would just sneak into the movie that nobody wanted to see. So you had pretty much the movie theater yourself, and you could do whatever you wanted in the back.
No, you went to the one you saw that, and then you went to the other one.
Went to one that nobody wanted to see, so you had your privacy all the way in the back row, and you could do whatever you wanted. So
When we were talking about babies, if you bring a fucking baby to a movie, that's good. You could take a, you
long
can take
as
a
it's a
baby.
child
You
movie.
take a baby to Saving Private Ryan.
And as you were saying earlier,
Saving Private
to a
Ryan.
new-
It's
long
a
as
lot of
the baby
explosions, a
can
lot of
run
explosions
through
and
the
stuff like
movie,
that.
it's fine.
Except during the dialogue, it'd be like fucking, and the kids start screaming. You go like, God damn it, or something real loud.
And one of the
Fine.
funniest things I heard was when the movie Sausage Party came out.
Yeah.
You've heard of that movie, right?
Yeah.
It's an animated movie, and all the parents thought it was a
Seth Rogen. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So just imagine how many babies went.
My mother, when I was a kid, tried to take us to. There was a Flash Gordon thing out,
Okay.
but it was a parody. It was Flesh Gordon, and it was at the Lincoln Drive-In Theater outside of Philadelphia, which was an adult drive-in theater. And my mom didn't know that because it always had the names on movies in the 70s, in adult movies, weren't like Mega Cock 9000. Like now, it's not like that. It's like Red Riding Hood's Adventures or something like that. But in the 70s, that's the way it was. You did because they had to put it on billboards and they put it on theaters, and you couldn't put it because the name is pornographic. You couldn't post it.
It had to be slightly
Yeah,
risky
you could put
just
adult. You could put
to get
adult
the
movies.
attention.
You could put adult movies and stuff. You could put Deep Throat out there. Yes, Deep Throat. Deep Throat. That's all you said. Deep Throat. That was fine. And there was Behind the Green Door. That was a adult movie. Behind the Green Door.
With the
But
whole-
now it's like Blonde Sluts College 2018. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's this, driving to the dirty ones? And analyze this Dick Big Daddy. Oh yeah, 3 movies. Dick Virus. Merry Christmas, everyone. 10 Things I Hate About You, Bringing Out the Dead Dick. Dick was a great movie. That was the one about Nixon, 2 teenage girls working in a Nixon White House as dog walkers, presidential dog walkers. It was,
So they were playing with bitches then.
what?
So they were playing with the bitches, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were playing with Checkers. Checkers was the name of Nixon's dog. I'm a person
So the
This
reason
is the history geek in me. There's a history geek in me. Everything talk about that, and you know, John Dean and all this
Well,
shit.
they started calling the mistresses dog names, so you didn't have to come out publicly and say, I have not been having sexual relations with
Well,
this woman.
I mean, the one fucking thing that Nixon didn't do, he didn't fuck around on Pat. That's his wife.
Yeah.
He hated, he was anti-Semitic, I think, a little anti-Semitic. He was paranoid. He was an alcoholic, but he wasn't a lech.
I feel like
Did he
was
take a
much
baby
easier
to a
get
bar?
away with it
And
back
he
then.
wouldn't, I don't think he would take a fucking baby to a bar. And some fucking idiots take babies to bars. You know what? Babies don't even fucking tip.
No.
They're not going to drive you home.
It's very disrespectful.
No, they're never going to be a good wingman. I mean, if you think
Walking
it's going
around
to
the
work,
park,
if you're a
maybe.
dude, if you're a dude and you think you're going to attract girls, wrong. It's not like a puppy. It's not like a puppy. It's not going to work. If you're a girl, oh my God, it'd be like it drops you down 4 levels. I think.
That's like Raid.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a 10, you're a 6. You know? So any 7s that walk in, they already have the upper hand. You got, what's that? Oh, that's my baby. They do it. They do a lot in restaurants in Europe. Do you know about that? When Europeans come over here, if they're walking their babies and stuff, they just take the stroller and they park it outside the restaurant with their baby in it.
And leave the baby outside while they're
Leave the
doing
baby while they're eating. This was up until like 15 years ago, I think. I don't know if they still do that in Europe, but they leave the baby sitting there because no big deal. The
I don't
baby's
know,
not
but
going
some
anywhere.
wonderful
Not
things
going anywhere.
from
Imagine if they
other
did that with
countries.
people in wheelchairs and stuff like that and said, they're not going anywhere, just parking right outside. You know, grandma's just going to sit there,
Put the brakes on and just
put the brakes on and go inside and have it dinner. That's what they used to do. And they used to have to come and tell, oh, God, I don't want to piss off my buddy because we do have listeners in Sweden. If we do have listeners in Sweden, and I
Much
apologize
respect to all
if
of
they,
you.
but if I understand, on beautiful summer days, they would just leave their, the babies wouldn't be right at the table. They'd be like in a group area, and not like in a playpen, just sitting in there.
So it'd kind of be like stroller parking
No,
at Disney
none of it-
World, but
no-
you leave your
what?
babies in it. Be like stroller parking at Disney World, but you leave your baby.
You leave your baby, yeah. Leave your baby.
You know,
oh,
back to-
fuck that. Oh, we were talking about Disney World. I'm going to talk about that later. Wow, listen, we're back. We're already, I know that pissed you off, Jenna, that it's gotta. How could you be so, oh my God.
It
I'd be so
doesn't matter
provoked.
to us. Yeah, we had a 40-minute segment that wasn't recorded, but we still enjoyed it.
It was recorded. It's me.
Still
They
have
heard mine.
drinks in front of us,
Yeah.
so
And she's very patient.
Yeah, she is. Oh, but I got that off the chest with the babies and stuff like that. So we're going to go. We're going to do all of it then. We'll do the update on Moby Douche now.
We can do the update on
The
Moby
update,
Douche. Although I
we think
think-
he's going to be he goes to CJ's. He's got to go and drink someplace. He probably goes to VFW now. You
Right.
can't come to my place.
Right. And the recap on Moby Douche is he's the guy on the single-wheeled center skateboard that
yeah,
ran out of
motorized,
Motorized.
electric motorized.
Yes.
Yep.
So he's lazy because he just goes everywhere that way.
Did you check the speed on that?
No.
No,
It's got to be
you
like
did.
20
You
miles an
looked
hour.
it up.
Yeah, almost up to 20. I don't think he was going 20 at
Because he
nighttime. But I
skateboarded.
caught
Oh,
up
he
to
was
him.
drunk.
He was drunk, yeah, and he fell when I called his name. I called, hey, you.
Hey,
and
you.
then he fell. And the first thing he did was check his phone when he fell, dropped his phone. I hope he fucking broke his screen. So then I'm going to.
You can
Unless he
tell
moves,
how
if you're going to
irritated
move,
Jim is by
I
this
mean,
guy
if
here.
you, I ask,
Little upset.
if any of you know him, if you could put him onto this podcast and take him to 14 minutes and 15 seconds, I
Or
want to
just
leave a
back to
message.
the episode
Come
of
up,
Moby
no,
Douche.
come up to 14 minutes and 15 seconds, and I'll say, don't be an asshole. Come in, pay your bill, and all will be well. Otherwise, you're going to feel dogged. Like they call it the harpies. I think the harpies were the spirits from the Greek gods sent down to just harass douchebags. Much like yourself, if you don't come in and pay your bill, Moby Douche. And people know that you drink Michelob Ultra and Jameson.
And shots of Jameson.
And shots of
Yes.
Jameson. And if you're in Key Largo and you listen to it and you're a bartender, do that. If you're in Marathon, think about it. And in Key West, I don't think he wouldn't, I mean.
It's a long way to scoot.
Yeah, it would be a long way to scoot.
Now, just to recap, I mean, not everybody that skips out on their tab is a Moby Douche.
Yeah.
But if you're drinking all night and you get drunk and you go home because you're drunk and you take a taxi and you wake up the next day, hey, I wonder if I paid the tab. Call your bartenders. Call the restaurant.
I had a guy.
used to do it.
He bought I had to cut him off. He drank too much, and while he was just hanging out, and he thought I was going to say he could drink again. I said, "Oh no! If you drink again, you're just going to. As soon as you have that next drink, you're going to be back where you were.
Back to a Moby Douche.
No, but drunk." So he ordered wings, and then he just got up and left, and he paid for them. And when he left, I just went, "Oh, is there another order for wings? Could you just put that out with that order?" And next time he came in, I told him, "Dude, we owe you wings." And some of the people were looking at me saying, "We didn't make the wings, so we got the money from them, so let's not be,
right.
We want to be on the right side.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. If we're demanding people to pay for services and product they receive, we should be able to deliver the product when they do it." It's just like, so whenever I see someone that says they get a gift certificate and stuff like, "Oh, it said it expire in a year." Someone paid cash for a gift certificate, $50.
Yeah.
That $50 did not disappear. It could
there.
have been spent by the people that issued it, but it still exists as a credit.
They can't do that anymore. They can't let them expire anymore. No,
it just has a date. It's
Yeah.
a year from when it was issued. So when people come up and ask about it, "Oh, it just went last month," I say, "Oh, come on in, you're fine."
Yeah.
Yeah, gift certificates
And they go, "What's your name?" And they go,
cannot expire.
"What?"
Gift certificates and gift cards cannot expire anymore.
Yeah.
As long as the business is still active, they have to be honored.
Yep.
Although, yes, if a business goes under, then it's written off with their liabilities. But if it's a
And you become an
coupon,
unsecured.
if it's a coupon, then it can expire. So that's how you can do it.
Okay.
But again, there's a difference. If you're drunk, you go home, you forget to pay your tab, and you call in the next day and pay your tab, then you're all good. Come back in, keep drinking. But you're getting chased down by your bartender.
I think
at night.
Yeah, you're 55-year-old bartender.
I have
And you
been
know what? I
chased
lost
down.
weight too.
And you
Next
don't
time
stop.
I ran 6 miles.
Ooh.
I ran 6 miles and I rode about another 2 and lifted a little. But the next time Moby
Pick
Douche
things up
shows
and
up,
put them down.
I'm going to get him right from the get-go coming in the door, and he won't be ready.
You're going to attack him.
This is your motivation when you're running,
10
right?
pounds from Thanksgiving.
This is your motivation when you're running, right?
I
You're
know
thinking
it.
about
That
Moby
and
Douche.
the owner of the place I work,
how many
Kathy,
miles do you ride
she
at
always
spin
poking
class?
me in the side. She goes, "Your belly," and she goes, "Oh." I go, "Oh, not too much belly anymore, huh? Don't you feel like a shit?" I said, "You're my motivation. How's it working for you?" That's all. I just leave it at that.
Moby Douche
I won't
is
say
your
anything.
motivation now?
What?
Your Moby Douche is your motivation to lose weight?
Moby Douche and people that poke fun at the thing. That's my motivation, stuff like that. What was that one thing I couldn't do? The one reason my motivation for going back to work out is because it's a catch-22. I became a fitness instructor 5 years ago. If I wasn't a fitness instructor, I was just going to the gym, and I'm a 55-year-old guy, and I'm putting on a little weight, and I'm just slowing down. Okay, that's it. But now I'm a fitness instructor, and I went in there it was right around Thanksgiving. Some of the snowbirds came into town, and one of them said to Abby, "Oh, what have you been feeding him?" No, now they'll think when they had, and I go, "Oh, yeah." And Mike Myers used to do Middle-Aged Man. He's been on Saturday Night Live. Guy had glasses.
Was this person from the upper
and he goes like,
Midwest?
"You're looking at my gut. I'm working on it." So,
This person was from the upper Midwest, were they not?
who? Mike Myers?
No, the person that said, "Oh, what have you been feeding him?"
Yeah.
Yes, because we're very passive aggressive that way. We won't just walk up to you and say,
You're getting fat.
You're getting fat. We're going to say, "Huh, what have you been eating?"
Well, I was always years ago. I was super thin and all that stuff. And what happens with your metabolism? You just get older and you put on weight. But with the added, I guess that's ego. But I really wouldn't have that problem. I would have just bask in my middle-agedness.
Well, yeah,
and
if you were a fitness instructor.
And a fitness instructor, now I feel
obligated
to go. So I know I go to stretch class and I do cardio and I lift. I try to diversify, and I teach my class, and I work out during my class to make sure I get every bit of calorie out. And then today when I made spaghetti, I heard that if you cool spaghetti, it reduces the amount of carbs you get through calories, or calories you get through carbs.
Well, if that's the case, I should be like a twig because I love cold spaghetti. I'll eat anything that's made.
Well, they said when you freeze. Freeze cool pasta and then bring it back up. The cooling process makes it into more complex, harder to digest carbohydrates, and then the heating process does something else with the sugars, and it doubles down that lower the hurtful.
So I should be getting skinnier eating my wife's
or maybe you eat
pasta
twice
salad.
Well, if you eat twice as much. You have to weigh it against stuff that isn't. You know what I mean? Eating pasta that hasn't been cooled down versus the one that has been cooled down. That's the only way it's better. Now, if you're still getting that 1,200 calories in that meal, it doesn't matter.
I think it has something to do with
pasta salad is
starch.
always cool. Pasta salad is always cool. And then you also have the other sauces.
That's why pasta salad is so good.
Yeah. We're trying to, he said, we have a campaign going to try to get
Actually,
pasta
Jen,
salad.
before you leave tonight, I do have a batch of pasta salad inside the house that Jenna made yesterday. I want to send some home with you so you can try it.
I believe. I'm a big believer in pasta
Then
salad.
you can, tell your owner that, hey.
Do you think he fucking listens to me? She calls me fat.
She pokes you in the belly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm the least. You know there. I'm not going to say anything because they may listen to it. You know what? My coworkers don't listen.
They don't listen.
They listen.
No.
But I'm thinking of all of them there.
Would you want to advertise that?
Am I the... Jerry's the most fit.
I don't know, Jerry.
Jerry?
Jerry, the busser.
Oh.
Jerry the busser, but then again, he's 25. He's 30 years younger than me. And then there could be the dishwasher David, but he's not in that good a shape. He's not even 18.
As far as being married and gaining weight and wondering about that, we have a customer that is very close to us at work.
Oh, Walter.
And he came in one day, and this is what he told Jenna.
He said that wives feed their husbands on purpose to make them unattractive so that other women don't want them.
Is that what Miss Santa Claus was doing to Mr. Santa Claus? No one wants a skinny Santa.
Go eat all those cookies. Eat
all the fucking
those
cookies, Santa.
little elves are not going to be climbing up your leg.
And also, when the hell did parents start freaking telling their kids to leave carrots out for Santa?
It's the carrots aren't for Santa.
Carrots aren't for Santa.
They're
Carrots
for the reindeer.
are for the reindeer.
So then they're saying, screw Santa, he's fat enough?
No. They're supposed to be. It was supposed to be sugar cookies or whatever cookies Daddy eats, and then they say, well, how about and the kids going, well, how about the reindeer? And because they go, fuck, we shouldn't make it such a big deal about the because we're fucking ruining our. I got to eat those fucking carrots too. So I mean, you got to eat. You're putting together all the goddamn toys. That's what my dad had to. We used to. I mean, they used to have put up a spread. My dad.
Yeah, you used to have to build toys. Nowadays, you don't.
No.
They're all electronics, and they come on your iPads.
Mm-hmm.
When my kids were little,
There's there's IKEA toys out there and shit like that.
Yeah, with 50 million parts, and you have to call the hotline to get it installed.
Well, the boys had brought. They used to bring home us. This was like oatmeal with glitter in it, and that was so you could feed the reindeer outside, and they would spread it around the yard. They would make it at school. And then that was
so glitter in it.
Glitter in it.
When did deer eat
It was
that?
magic. It was magic oatmeal for the.
Oh, it was like the Christmas corn.
Pixie dust, kind of.
It was magic oatmeal for the
cool.
reindeer.
So just like
Yeah.
you thought about him saying the baby making movies, when you just said, leave out the cookies that Daddy likes. Now my twist on that was Santa Daddy.
What?
I saw Mama kissing Santa Claus. Hey.
Oh yeah.
Mama sleeping with Santa Claus.
No, you think you're gonna get a bunch of really well. The kid, the kids probably think that was a joyous song because they think if mommy is getting all the Santa Claus, I'm going to get all the fucking good toys. I'm going, like, you're going to sit on Santa's lap. He goes, hey, what do you want? You know what? I told mommy.
Yeah.
And she's going to tell you.
So speaking of weird things that teachers have done to my children over the years, because you know how they are. They're
That's
like,
an uncomfortable statement in itself.
Right, yeah, well,
We have to explain it.
Ever touched in inappropriate places?
You know, my oldest son was told by a teacher that he should never let the dryer lint go in the trash can. Always throw the dryer lint outside for the birds because they use it to make their nests, right? This kid is 6'2", picks things up and puts them down, Mr. Heavy Arms, and he comes over here to stay for a couple of days, and there's damn dryer lint in the yard. He's 23 years old, and he still throws the dryer lint outside for the birds.
Oh, shit, we're going to do that for our birds. That's a great idea. We got a bird feeder.
Yes.
So we'll put that down there.
And then it rains on it, and then you have
Hopefully
rocks
nobody
covered
from,
in wet,
It's
nasty
underneath.
dryer lint.
Hopefully nobody from PETA is
So-
listening to this.
What, you can't use Eve?
So
I don't think it's right to throw dryer lint out in the yard.
it's not
for
a dryer
bird.
sheet; it's the lint
the lint.
thing. So Ryan has.
It's actually it's hygienic because it's been through the wash.
I mean, it's just
I mean, they
from your
put
clothes,
tons of shit. They take garbage.
right?
They take garbage. They take dog shit on sticks.
But because
So-
of his first grade teacher, I
I mean,
have
that's
been
got to
picking
be
up
pretty.
dryer lint out
That's
of my
great
yard,
nesting material.
wet
Think
dryer
about
lint
it.
for years.
If you're a bird and you get to lay in there, you don't have the dried sticks, and you go, "Oh, this dryer lint's great."
Ooh, this is like a
Yeah, put it in
it's
a
like
bird
sleepover
box.
bed.
Yeah, it's like one of those.
it's the foam.
What's a really good bed?
the
sleep
therapeutic,
number?
Tempur-Pedic. It's like a Tempur-Pedic.
The one you could put a glass of wine on one edge.
Yes.
And do that, and fucking the bird goes there and goes, "Look at honey, look what I got."
Yeah.
Look at
This is
and
so comfortable for you, look.
Oh my God, they must use fragrance-free Gain.
Although never
I mean-
once did those birds come and pick up that lint. I've been picking up wet lint out of my yard.
Well, you got to
Ever
have
since
birds.
Ryan
You got to
was in
have somewhere
first grade.
birds come for it. You know.
Not seagulls, by the way.
You know, since we're at 27 minutes, we've screwed the pooch on the first one. We'll do it. We'll do it again. Because maybe we'll do. If you like it, we could do Tuesdays.
We can do whatever.
Tuesdays.
Thursdays.
I'm working Thursday. I'm working Thursday anyway at the Catch during the day. During the day, I would have still wouldn't have been able to.
Oh, you're
I would have been
covering
able to
because
do.
you've got a
I would have been
coworker.
able to
Go
do the
ahead.
night here, but I got to do the grill thing now. But I think I'll be in good graces for that. But we want to get to the worst motherfuckers we ever worked with.
Oh, worst motherfuckers.
I want to start my story out.
Yes.
And you heard it. I
Start-
told you before.
start your story.
It's George, a German guy at Gilbert's, a chef, and he used to really harass the shit out of his own kitchen workers, little Guatemalan guys. They weren't Mexicans. They were Guatemalans. They were the Indian Guatemala because they were small. They were like, God, they weren't little people. But they were little people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not the apostrophe little people.
Right. But they were very small.
Small people, 5'1",
Yeah, the Guatemalans.
Guatemalans,
And
they were-
Ecuadorians, very small people.
very small. And he was so. They were such sweet guys, and they treated him like shit. And then some of the other people he was just trying to run rampant. He was miserable. I guess he was miserable with lot in life. He's living in fucking Key Largo and a chef at a restaurant, and he's pissed off all the time.
Maybe he
And
went to
everyone
the
hates him.
campground I went to.
Yeah, well, no, he went back. I mean, he'd be something like, what was it, Adolf Eichmann's grandson or something like that.
Jeez.
Oh, well, he was a nasty motherfucker.
So what did he do to these people?
I don't know. Well, he choked one of the guys that died. Billy, he didn't choke him to death. I'm saying
Billy's
he choked
dead now.
Billy was a waiter, skinny guy. He lived up in Homestead. He'd work all over Gilbert's, but he used to work as a waiter. We didn't have him as a bartender yet, but eventually he would have. And eventually he died. He couldn't swim, but he always liked fishing by himself. He got drunk one night, got in a canoe, and died on Blackwater Sound.
Jeez.
I know, fell off the boat. Yeah, you don't go swimming. You don't go fishing at night
By yourself.
By yourself.
When you can't swim.
You shouldn't go by yourself
Anyway.
anywhere, anytime when you can't swim.
Right.
So he died. But I found out later, like people said, oh yeah, one time he choked Billy, and Billy was such a sweet kid. And I actually did the eulogy at his funeral because, dumb me, it's July, I think, when they had the funeral, and I was the only guy that showed up in his suit. I mean, they had like 150 people there under a tent or under one of the tiki huts at Gilbert's, and they asked if I was the minister. Yeah. Oh, you're a good friend? Oh, I knew him. And they go, could you speak? And I said, because I'm wearing a tie and a suit.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. They had me do that. And, but I didn't get along. It's not about me. It's about George. He was a miserable motherfucker. And his wife was the general manager, Susie. You weren't here for that.
No.
Lovely woman, German woman also. I thought she was pretty excellent shape. She was into yoga and stuff like that. She had, can I get it? Yeah. So
we have a bartender.
So good. Thank you.
Of our own this evening. My young son, Matthew.
So what happened was, the wife goes away for a week, and I had to go and get liquor from the liquor room, and there's a key there. So I go up to George, and I said, fuck, I hate talking to this guy. So can I get one more?
Yeah.
I know I didn't. I'm quick time, but I know I'm going to be done in 5 seconds. I appreciate that. I do. I don't take it lightly.
Hey, I actually think it's fun to wait on you once in a while since you always wait on me.
Oh, no, I do. I appreciate it. Oh, well, it's your son that's doing that right now.
I know, but last time I got to get you beers.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I do appreciate that. So I go up to this guy. He said, what's his best way to be able to...
and by the way, my son isn't 10 or anything. He's 22.
I know
I'm just making sure listeners know that...
I know... well, I remember last year when you turned 21, I heard about your party and that you were responsible and all that stuff.
Yes.
And she was very proud.
My Uber bill was expensive, but they all came back safely. Because he's a twin, and there's two of him.
Yeah, there's two. It was a double birthday. But I would say that's... If you're going to be responsible, man, that's a pleasure in its own.
Yes.
But George, this guy that wasn't responsible...
Right.
Fucking George... I go up to him and say, listen, I need to get certain kind of bottles out of here and stuff like that. Can you just give me the keys? I'll come in there. I'll write down what I'm going to get, and then I'll give it to you so you know what I'm taking because I know you're busy. He goes, don't be a pussy. Tell me exactly what you want and stop fucking around. And I go, excuse me? He goes, don't be a pussy with his thick German accent. And he wasn't even a good German accent. It was just... it wasn't like you'd see in the Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of German accent. We have ways of making you talk, whatever. I mean, but he said that, and I just said, and I was trying to be so nice and make it mild. So I went from that 10% to 120% angry.
Ooh.
Like that. And I go, oh, motherfucker. That was the first one. I had to put my hand on my, like he punched me in the nuts. Motherfucker. And he goes he's looking at me and go, you are an asshole, bullshit, pussy, you have no balls, you blah, 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 blah. And we're going back for it. He's yelling at me, I'm yelling at him. It escalated in 3 seconds. 3 seconds it escalated. And I think part of it, my responsibility was I was trying to be nice. I should have just went in there. Give me the goddamn keys I should have said, give me the keys. I need to get some liquor. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Right.
I should have been strong. I should have been strong.
You were nice.
I was being nice.
He
I was
walked
trying
on
to
you
placate.
about it.
You know what I mean? Like the dude in The Big Lebowski.
Oh.
When you're trying to be nice and do that. You can't be nice to certain people. You got to lead. You got to lead with the fist, a closed fist, and say, give me your fucking keys. I need to get booze. And no, I didn't have to say fucking in the first time. Just say, I need to get booze. I need the keys.
Right.
That should have been it.
Demanding.
That's what I should have led
Don't
with.
ask.
Because I would have reacted. I was ready. I would have been steeled for it. And he could have said, I'm not ready for that. Okay, well, when you're ready, I need this liquor here. Because I'm going to be busy. Mm-hmm. So, and I could have just went. But my part was I was trying to accommodate an asshole. Like Neville Chamberlain during World War II. The history, if you guys in the history, Neville Chamberlain was the prime minister right before World War II, and he was being nice to Hitler, trying to say, oh, we could be, we can accommodate each other. We can accommodate. And he kept on taking more and more and more. You can't, this aggression cannot stand. You got to just be up front sometimes. That's where doves and hawks differ. There's some people, civilized people, like you to be nice first. When they're nice and you're nice. But when an asshole comes up, or a dickhead, or a douchebag, or anybody, you got to meet them where force has to meet force. Force has to meet force, or they're going to run you over like a steamroller, like a little baby at a bar. With a drunk trying to get a beer, and that baby has no chance. Is not stopping. Yeah,
that was a perfect segue.
But this guy George eventually. But I had my karma paid up for George. That argument we had, he didn't have the balls to try to choke me. I would love that because I would. I am not a violent person. No. I do not like to fight. But at certain people, when you're a real asshole, it'll be a joy. It'll be a joy to punch you in the face. Oh, there's another higher aspiration for me to take my fist and shove it straight through your head. And I'm not like that. I'm a peaceful guy. But this guy, I knew this guy was not going to be. He wouldn't be placated. So he says, "You're fired." I said, "Oh, you're an acting manager? I'm fired? Okay, I'm out of here." So I started walking. I said, I didn't even fucking clock out. I think I just walked out. I'm walking out. I'm going to my car. It's okay. I'm out of here. And the owner goes, "Where are you going?" The owner's saying, "Where are you going?" Another German guy. I said, "Well, George just fired me." "What for?" And he goes, he's an asshole. I tried to get the keys, and I tried to be nice, and he was mean, and then we had a couple words, and he goes, "Oh, well, don't leave. You can't leave." I said, "Well, I'm working all day. What am I going to do?" He goes, "Well, don't go. Don't talk to him." I said, "How can I not talk to him? He's a chef. I'm the bar. It's just me all day with some other people, but I'm the one because I'll work it out." In the wedding, I stayed another couple weeks and stuff like that. And finally, though, George's wife, Susie, left him for a guy in Texas who was, I don't know if he was wheelchair bound, had several kids, and she chose, instead of taking care of this fully able German
asshole,
left him for a guy to take care of this guy and his kids, and it was an easy decision for her. So how much of an asshole you have to be for that?
Right.
I'm not saying, hey, I bet the guy in Texas could be a saint.
Yeah.
Because Susie was a lovely woman. I don't know how the fuck she fell in with this jerk off.
Who knows?
Like he threw that douchebag switch on him. And there's been other people, and I will probably talk about other people in the future, but that was one guy that stood out. At 55 years old, he was the worst guy I ever worked with.
Jeez.
Let's hear your stories.
Well, the biggest motherfucker that I ever worked with.
Don't have to be the current one, right? You don't want to get in trouble.
No. Was not even close, actually. Was actually my old boss, who was the biggest motherfucker I ever worked for.
Really?
I ran a dealership, which is closed now, in Hudson, Wisconsin.
It actually looks pretty good.
And it was the owner of the dealership.
What kind of dealership?
Kawasaki, Suzuki.
Motorcycles?
Yeah, motorcycles, snowmobiles, ATVs, and I raced motocross for the state of Minnesota back then. And, I was like, how cool would that be to go work at a dealership, get cheaper parts, because, of course, I crashed a lot. I mean, you don't win unless you crash a lot. And I went to work there, and I'm an accountant. So I started working in the back office doing co-op claims, warranty claims. I ended up kind of morphing it through parts because they realized I was a gearhead.
Yeah.
And I became the parts manager when the parts manager called in drunk one day.
Yeah.
Couldn't find his car. That was his excuse for not coming to work. So they went in the back office, got me, and I went up and started running parts. So then I was the parts manager, which morphed into being a service manager. And within 6 months of working there, I was the general manager of the entire store. And this guy barely came to work. And he's the owner of, it was called St. Croix Outpost.
Yeah.
His name is Jay. His father is famous, so I won't say what his last name is.
Well,
Let's hope he's listening.
St. Croix Outpost.
St. Croix Outpost
Sure
in
people
Hudson,
St.
Wisconsin.
Croix,
Hey, if you
Wisconsin.
know anybody in St. Croix County, Wisconsin, will know who this guy is, but I'm not going to say it. Anyway, he made all of his wealth previously at a different dealership that he owned in Minnesota, over the border, when he was a Polaris dealer in the mid-'90s, early '90s, when they were selling snowmobiles like left and right, and this guy had millions. And he had some kind of meltdown. He had girlfriend problems and a severe drinking issue. So
Did he date strippers?
His girlfriend was actually older than him, had a lot of work done. She was very rude. She was very reminds me a little bit of another owner's wife that I know.
The see you next Tuesdays.
Right. But she was just she was an entitled woman, and she owned this guy. Well, then she would break up with him every, 6-8 months. And he would go into a downward spiral, and I wouldn't see him. I wouldn't see him for 2-3 months at a time. I would have to go to his house. I had the keys. I had the code.
Yeah.
And mind you, this is my boss, right? And in order to get payroll checks signed,
You had to go to his house.
I would have to go to his house and get payroll checks signed.
What was he? He's like shutting down. Was he wearing a bathrobe or was in sweatpants?
I had to go into. He had to go out of town for a Yamaha dealer meeting one time, and he needed to get up and get on a plane and go to this dealer meeting, or we would have lost all of our incentives for the next year, because you have to attend. It's required. I had to go to his house, pack his bag, do his laundry, change his socks, get this guy out of bed, and at this time, I still remember his date of birth. I still remember his social security number. I had to do everything for this guy.
Yeah.
Right? Ran the entire place by myself. Well, he got to the point where we were selling units, and up there, if you want to buy a motorcycle in December, you don't take it home with you, right? Unless you have it delivered and it gets put in your heated garage somewhere. So he would make me hide them. He would make me lie to the floor plan inspectors of where are these units, where are these at? Oh, this one's on display at this bank, or this one's over here at this place. And I learned how to do my job so well that I do now by learning how not to do it, because I'm watching him. And it got to the point where he was taking every dime that the store made and spending it, blowing it on booze, on every boats, and I had a conference call with his lawyer, because he kept telling, just deal with her. She knows more about the store than I do at this point. And I said, he needs to close. Before he gets arrested, he needs to close.
And this you saying?
I told her that. I told the lawyer that.
Yeah.
So he laid everyone off. I was the only employee left. We closed the store and started to... Kawasaki and Suzuki floor plan both showed up and took everything. Took all the stuff out of the show floor and started an auction process to get rid of everything that was already paid. And there was a customer who owned, or who came in to order. One half of the store was a dealership. The other half was Cub Cadet, Troy built, outdoor power equipment, as well as a federal firearms shop. So of course I handled that too.
Oh, well, that's...
Yeah. And there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of audits.
Yep.
A lot of
ATF, you got to file with everything.
Everything. And there was a customer that came in 3 or 4 days before we actually closed the dealership and ordered a 10-round clip for a Smith & Wesson. And we ordered the 10-round clip, and it came in. And they called the customer, and we were closed, so he had to just knock on the door so we could open the door and give him his clip. And it turned out that it was only an 8-round Smith & Wesson. They messed up and sent him the smaller one. He pushed his way through the door, screaming at me that there was two less bullets, because he didn't get the 10-round that he wanted, and pulled the exact gun that fit that clip out of the back of his pants, aimed it at my face as I jumped over the parts counter.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that there was a mechanic there picking up his toolbox. And I picked up the phone, hit the floor, and called code 10. And that was the big thing, like code 10 means danger, right? And the mechanic came out and saved me, tackled this guy with a loaded clip in my face, loaded gun in my face.
Wow.
So after calling the police, we had this guy removed, pressed charges, did whatever we had to do. And I called the owner because he was absent right after and let him know that, well, this is what happened. The guy pulled a gun on me. And I'm, a single mom with 3 little boys. And he said, why would you have ever called the police? Now the neighbors are going to know something's wrong. All the neighboring businesses is what he meant.
You're closed already,
And I
right?
said, right,
You're gonna know
we're
that
closed. All signs up.
Everything's
clearance,
gone?
Everything's gone. He goes, you've embarrassed me. How am I going to explain that? And I literally put the phone down, locked the building, set the alarms, walked out, and I mailed him the key to his own store.
Now, is this the same guy that preferred you to wear
Bring
the
it closer to you.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right, severance story.
Different, yeah, no.
Yeah, wow.
No, worst
How are you,
coworker ever. So yeah, go.
Tyler?
Mine's not like any of those. I've bounced around from job to job like anybody else here in Key Largo, trying to figure out what they want to do. I had a friend. He owned several jet ski companies in his past and everything like that. And he was starting out at a high-end resort down here that's been around forever, doing jet ski rentals and boat rentals. And so he asked me to come aboard. I left my current job and joined him. Well, they had a guy that would come down during summer. He was a seasonal employee and came down. Hit it off with him, kind of like me, into crazy, stupid things and down for whatever. And
Very funny guy. Very entertaining.
very funny. I mean, to be honest with you, if I didn't know what he's done, we'd still be best friends. I mean, awesome kid. And when I was hired there, I was a hidden management.
Yeah.
And finally it came to light that I was managing the company for him. And this guy just, figured he's buddy-buddy, could get away with anything. So it was right before Memorial Day.
Young college kid, by the way.
Right before Memorial Day or Labor Day, one of the big holidays when it gets crazy down here. And we're right at the sandbar.
Yeah.
So he's going out to do a guided jet ski tour and does his jet ski tour, comes back, and we're pushing off a boat that is loaded with 14 spring breakers. Going out with coolers of beer and blah, blah, blah. Well, a couple very nice-looking girls on the boat. So he took it upon himself to go check on them every half hour, if not 15 minutes. And he kept coming back and going out, staying a little longer, coming back. So kind of wondered, it's not uncommon for us to go out there, see the customers and chit-chat and maybe have a beer, but that's about it. And when it came down time for the rental to be over and come back in, saw the boat coming down the channel, and we were going to guide them in a quicker way because it was coming close to closing time and sunset. I noticed there was one person missing off of the boat, and his jet ski was nowhere to be found. So I get the boat coming in, all of a sudden see a dot out in the distance, which is my jet ski. I was like, why is it sitting out there for a while? Still sitting there. Got the binoculars out, still sitting there. I was like, I know it's my ski. All of a sudden, I see the jet ski coming in. And now, mind you, we're right there on the ocean side. We have a full resort, full tiki bar, everything right
All
there.
the guests of the
All
resort
the guests
could
of
see
the
this.
resort. Locals are there. And this jet ski comes in with him on the backside of the jet ski with her facing him backwards.
So like
His face.
she's straddling him.
Yeah.
But
she's-
he's on the back of the ski, she's on the front of the ski.
They're face to face.
So not only you're breaking every marine rule in that scenario, you have a customer on a ski that is not insured to allow a customer on your ski. And coming in full throttle, getting really close to the bar, whipping around with this girl on the jet ski, which now, mind you, if she fell off or anything like that, we'd lose our jobs. Come to find out, her bathing suit was off to the side. And they were, getting it on.
Copulating.
On that
Coitus.
ride back. Yeah. So now, mind you, I'm the manager of this company. And at that point, it was just, that was it. I was done. So Labor Day or Memorial Day, whatever holiday it was.
It was Memorial Day weekend.
I came home and I said, you know what, I'm done. Mm-hmm. I called in a couple of my backup employees.
Actually, that's not exactly how it went.
Yeah, we won't get into that part, though.
I do have a funny part for the people that want to hear how funny this is that he decided he was going to go home and tie one on and, drink away his sorrows, and I'm still at work. Uh-huh. And I went home, and Damon was with me. We were getting ready. I think we were going to do a boat day the next day. And I get home, and we didn't have any booze in the house except for a bottle of strawberry liqueur. Okay?
What is that?
It's sweet like a...
Something rose.
Tequila rose.
Which is really good, by the way.
Right. And a shot glass. So I walk up to the dock at Mike and Matt's house, their house now, and there is a shot glass on the concrete.
On the seawall.
And then there's a pack of cigarettes and a lighter on the seawall. And I see something floating in the water, and it's him. So he's literally in the canal with a pool noodle, drunk off his ass, telling us this whole story, floating up. So he keeps going back and taking shots of tequila and having cigarettes and floating around. And he was mad because, of course, the next day was Memorial Day. We all had the day off, and we were going to go boating. And he was just mortified that he had to go back and deal with the ramifications of this insubordinate employee that put him in such a bad situation. And he quit. He quit that night.
Yep. I called out my backup employees, made sure he was covered, and I didn't show up for work.
Oh, I don't have any questions. That's amazing. I can see your point of view. I can see that guy. I mean, it's a wrong point of view what he did. It's a wrong thing. But he must have gotten drunk. Because no way someone makes a decision.
No. Now,
unless you don't have long-term planning skills in your frontal lobe and say
he was in school to be a pilot. He was about a year away from his pilot's license.
He is now a pilot.
He's now a pilot.
He still associates with some other friends of ours.
But
that we don't associate with.
The reason I knew that it wasn't that he was completely drunk is because he's come over to our house and hung out with us a couple times. And
4 sips of beer, that guy's wasted. I mean,
he ended up hooking up with one of our buddies' girlfriends at our house, which we thought, you guys are both drunk. Stay here. Don't drive. And the next morning, we find out they spent the night in the same bed.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
This guy came over, and a buddy and his girlfriend came over.
Yes.
Yep.
No, just the girlfriend.
Just because she was close friends with us.
She's my friend.
And he was a close friend with me.
Yep.
So we were just hanging out at the house kind of like this, and we just ended up drinking until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, she was supposed to sleep on the couch or in...
I'm not going to say anything because it would be wrong for me to say anything about that. You know why? I was that guy before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a dog. A dirty dog. A dirty dog. I can't say anything. I can't be a hypocrite. It's wrong. First, I'll say it's wrong. And I recognize the wrong that I did. Okay? But that is...
My thing is go do all the wrong you want, but don't do it under my roof and make me somewhat responsible for it.
You're not responsible.
Well, when you get questioned about it and brought into their...
I know. When someone puts you in that situation, the onus is on them. It is on them.
Yeah.
That's horrible when someone puts you in I used to make poor decisions like that. And you know what? A little younger, I might still do that with the experience. People said only if
you knew what you knew today.
No. It's coupled with, I really believe this, it's coupled with the being debilitated through age.
Yeah.
Because youth and the vigor of youth lead you to do things in, what do you call it, impervious to repercussions.
Well, at the time, you don't care.
You don't care about them.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Right,
impervious to repercussions. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking of the immediacy of the moment. You get very passionate about the need to do something, whether it's violent or amorous or...
I'm sure exciting and
stuff like that. And... I can.
But I also tried to carry on a friendship with him afterwards. You know, I'd text him, you know, he'd come into town, want to hang out, and, you know, come have a drink or two, and blah, blah, blah. Never once heard back from him.
Really?
He was actually in town about a couple weeks ago for a week. And I guess he pocket dialed me. So I returned the phone call because I'm a good person. Mm-hmm. You know, hey, yeah, you're in town. I knew he was in town. I was like, let's go have a drink or two, whatever. You know, let bygones be bygones. It's the past, whatever. Nope, never heard from him. No.
I had family that comes down to Key West, and they didn't come and see me. Yeah, I know. You know what? And I'm not hurt. I mean, whatever perceived slight or slip of, I don't. I do. I mean, we live inside our heads. Most of our life is lived inside our heads, and the decisions how we feel is. What does Shakespeare say? You know, ever hear this one?
Do tell.
It is going to be. There's nothing good or bad that thinking makes it so. There's nothing good and bad in this world that is good or bad in this world that thinking make it so. So, whatever it is that occurs, your thought on how you process it is how you will deal with it. So if someone says something to you and you don't feel it's up to, like, it's not friendly enough, it's not, it's this and that, our thinking definitely gets the best of us sometimes. And that's when we started out with the fucking babies and Moby Douche and the worst motherfuckers in the world. And, we got to talk on another night about this guy. We'll talk about the guy with the fucking kegs, the beer connoisseur.
The beer connoisseur.
The beer connoisseur. I'm still raw about that.
Ooh, okay, so that's
the beer connoisseur. It happened last night.
Ooh.
I told somebody at the end of the night, not the end of the night, it was around 8:30. I said, you have to go back and sit at your seat. You have to go and sit in your seat.
Okay, so I just want to give a shout out to whoever listened to the last podcast. This is the actual child.
It is 142.
This is the one that...
Baby bar etiquette.
This is the
45-minute showers.
This is the one with the 45-minute shower right here. So say goodnight to everyone.
He's meditating.
Yeah,
he's our meditator for 45 minutes in the shower.
We said that the last thing about that last week.
5 minutes. So
now
he's cut them down to about 25 minutes.
No, but someone said...
And that sock.
Someone said, yeah.
The sock.
They must be, yeah.
Yeah, it's as hard as the sock under my bed. Yeah, that's the child. Yes, this one.
Yeah, the worst is when your mother walks into your room, she steps on a sock and ends up actually slicing her foot open.
Oh, Jesus
And she
Christ.
snaps it in half.
Oh, that is sick.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay. The heart is a rock socks.
Good night to Matt.
Because that's
Matthew.
you, man. Good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Yep. Oh, what a polite young man. I shouldn't have said. I hope I'm not being a bad influence.
No.
Okay. Well, we're going to say goodbye. Did I say Tyler?
Good night, all.
Good night, Jenna.
Good night, all.
Next week we'll talk to you about. We'll talk about the beer.
The beer connoisseur.
Oh, fucking asshole.
And hopefully an update on.
Moby Douche.
Moby Douche.
Moby
Maybe we
Douche.
can
We're
find
looking
out.
for you still. We're gonna get you, motherfucker. Ah!